This is WZRD Chicago, 88.3 FM. And we have with us Anthony Caceres. He is a jazz vocalist and a string bassist. How are you today, Anthony?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Okay, so how long have you been singing?
That's a good question. I started singing professionally probably back in 2009.
Oh, okay. So that is about maybe 17 years or so, right? About.
Yes.
And were you a string bassist before that or after you started singing?
I was a string bassist before I was a singer, and I never wanted to be a string bassist. I wanted to just be a singer, but I um, chose the other part first, or it chose me actually.
What happened? Can you tell us what happened behind the scenes?
Originally, I started playing saxophone because my great uncle Ernie Caceres was in the Glenn Miller Orchestra, the original group, and
Okay.
my father played saxophone and my brother plays saxophone. So I thought that in the beginning I said, well, you know, I guess I need to play saxophone also. So I started playing saxophone first,
Hmm.
and I decided, well, I never really enjoyed it or really liked it. So then I had a friend of mine who was trying to put a rock band together, and he told me, hey, I need a bass player for my band. Let's go buy you a bass. So we went to a pawn shop. I bought a bass, and so that's how I was introduced to the bass, and eventually the string bass.
Okay. Well, you couldn't played it right after you got it at the pawn shop. How did you learn?
I got bought a book at a local music store. Started teaching myself the fingerings on electric bass, and then started taking some lessons with some local guys in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, was it hard for you to learn it?
I didn't find it that hard because I could kind of already, read music because I had been playing saxophone, so it wasn't that hard in the beginning.
Did you learn to play music from your dad, your brother, everybody in your family, or did you have to go to school to learn it?
Well, I mean, I was fortunate enough to be, involved in middle school playing saxophone and high school, and then eventually electric bass in high school. Uh, yeah, eventually I moved to Houston and went to community college, and then eventually I went to University of North Texas, where I studied with Len Seaton, jazz bassist Len Seaton, and that's where I got my degree in jazz bass.
Okay. So while you were studying jazz bass, were you also studying voice as some classes in voice?
I wasn't doing any voice lessons at all. Just I wasn't doing any. It just I had not reached the point of being, I guess, confident enough to sing in front of people, that kind of thing. I was kind of letting that hold me back for a long time.
Mm. But you were able to play a saxophone and string bass in front of people. What instrument did you play first in front of the public?
I started playing bass and
Uh,
doing gigs on bass, and so that was, a lot different than being a front man or like singing in front of people. So it was a lot different just playing the bass as opposed to standing in front of a bunch of people singing. So I really kind of struggled with that in the beginning.
but
Yeah.
right now you're very comfortable. What are your idols? Who did you like to listen to and watch singing? Who did you imitate?
Yeah, so in the very beginning, when I was a kid, my father introduced me to one of the greatest bands of all time, Earth, Wind, and Fire. And I secretly always wanted to sing like Philip Bailey. And so I would always try and copy him all the time. I wanted to sing that falsetto and sing, a real high voice like how he has. And so I started listening, you know, to singers like Maurice White, Philip Bailey, and then eventually, I was listening to a lot of Chet Baker, Frank Sinatra, Mel Torme, um, even like some of the female vocalists like the great Carmen McRae. I listened to her a lot. So those people I really, really, really study and listen to.
Well, then did you finally take voice lessons somewhere? Because you do have the birth control, but I can't really tell if you have any voice training?
I took two lessons. One one at a music studio here in Houston, and one with jazz vocalist Kelly Gray. I took two lessons, and then when I got off the road, I was actually on the road with the present Glenn Miller Orchestra. I was touring with them. So when I got off the road with them and came back to Houston, I got hired to play as a bass player in a salsa band. And one night, somebody just didn't show up for the gig. They just didn't even show up. So band leader said, "All right." He, just like in a movie, he took the mic stand, he slammed it on, slammed it on the stage, and he said, "All right, man, I can't do it all by myself." And so that's how I learned how to actually sing and play bass at the same time. And that's how that's kind of led me to where I'm at now.
Did the band leader assign you or did you volunteer? Did he know that you could sing, that you wanted to sing?
He didn't know any of that. He didn't know anything.
So
He
you
just
raise your hand. Oh, let me try.
no. He just said, here's the mic." He just put the microphone right in front of me
Oh
and
my
said,
God.
"You're going to have to sing the background vocals with me." You know, so that's how it all started.
So he never put the mic in front of anybody else?
No, just on and at that present time in the band, no, he didn't. He said to me, "You're going to have to help me. I
Okay.
can't do it. I can't do it on my own." So that's how it all started.
Background vocals. So that's just like some harmony?
Singing harmonies, yes.
Okay. Do you remember what song you sang harmony to? You had to remember it was your first time performing, first time singing.
Trying to remember, it was one of these old Benny Moré Cuban classics. Um, I can't even remember the name of the song, but I remember it was like a Benny Moré, this Cuban singer Benny Moré. It was one of his songs, but that's all I can recall.
Do you speak Spanish? You look so fluent in English. You don't seem to have any trace of a Spanish accent.
I speak some Spanish, but I was brought up as English first. My grandmother always spoke Spanish to me, and I would always answer her back in English. So
Mm.
that's how that's how I learned some of my Spanish.
So do you let me see. I can't remember. I think oh yeah, no English. I mean no Spanish song over here. So have you ever sung in Spanish?
Yes, I believe it was on my first demo that I did that I never released it because I just was still developing my voice. But I did sing. I do sing. Yeah, nowadays I sing a lot more Spanish tunes. But yeah, for sure.
Do you have a coach or do you like struggle and then you teach yourself? Do you have a coach at all? Like maybe in Spanish and pronunciation and any other thing concerning voice?
Well, I think the time that I spent in the salsa band and doing the background vocals that taught me how to kind of speak the kind of what like the correct Spanish as opposed to down here in South Texas. There's more like slang, kind of like Tex-Mex kind of Spanish, and like I kind of learned to speak the proper Spanish when I was playing in the salsa band.
Mm. So what do you still remember what was your first Spanish song that you sang?
Uh, Sabor a mi, song called Sabor a mi,
What
made
is it?
famous. Sabor a mi,
Taste?
made
Oh,
yes, that's it.
okay. What does it mean again?
There's a
Uh,
taste of you.
that's okay. Okay. I know that sabor seems to be like taste. I've seen it like in advertising for restaurants.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotta listen to that song and see what it sounds like. Nice, nice. So, did you ever have any a Spanish tune on your past? You put on four records altogether. So, what about the previous three? Anything Spanish at all that you recorded?
I did record on one of my. It was my second recording that I did called Crooner, and
Oh,
I did sing on Green Dolphin Street in Spanish and also in English.
oh. So, the translation was available already, right? Or did someone translate it for you?
I translated it just
Oh,
by like some books and stuff, and I was the one that kind of did it.
wow. So you're kind of very studious and you're very let's see. What's that word? Uh, to take charge, etc.
Yeah, I am that way. I don't usually wait on people. I try to just kind of go for it, you know. I've always kind of been that way.
So I heard you sing and then what was that? The There's this ding dong. Oh yeah, I think it was one of your Christmas songs. And ding dong, you sang the ding very well. The ding actually, I had some voice training too, and I found that ing is kind of close on the vocal cords and kind of hard to sing, but you had it pretty open and it wasn't forced at all. The dong is a little bit easier to project, but ding
Mhm.
is hard. So did you ever find ding hard and if so, how did you overcome the difficult of the ing?
Um, I guess I just didn't really. I I found it very natural. I didn't really think about it. Find it didn't really find it too difficult. I don't think it was pretty felt natural to me.
Did you ever go to an opera and listen to opera singers? Ever learn any of their techniques? So maybe through reading. You seem to be self-taught in a lot of stuff.
You know, I never. Other than like when I was at North Texas hearing opera singers, and then some of the community colleges I went to and hearing opera singers, I've, I've heard them, but I never really kind of was trained that way. I wish, you know, I wish when I was younger, you know, I would have had some of that kind of training, but it just didn't happen that way. So,
Mm. So you haven't had any professional training on with the voice. So how much do you sing per night? Have you ever felt that your voice is tired or is strained? But it seems as if you sing very easily. It's so once you're not careful, it's very easy to strain and tire your voice.
well, I've been very fortunate enough to have a gig here in Houston. At Eddie V's here in Houston. They have two locations. I've been very fortunate enough to sing 6 nights a week, and that's kind of helped me develop a lot. It's really helped me a lot being able to sing 6 nights a week. I've done like church stuff where there's like this, you know, these high energy contemporary Christian songs that kind of they really work your voice a lot.
Mhm.
Um, but I think I'm like a big like coffee drinker, espresso drinker. So like I think the only difficulty is if I have too much kind of coffee or espresso like before the gig, then it may dry me out a little bit or kind of make you sing harder than what you really, you know, what you really should, you know.
Mhm. Have you
But I
ever
think I think it's really helped though having the playing 6 nights a week, and it's kind of helped me develop, you know, singing and have that stamina to do that.
have you ever had to use like honey and lemon and all that to help soothe your voice, your throat?
I've never really had to do that. Maybe like if I was like getting like sick with a cold or something, but I did go. Let's see, it was last year. I went to see Earth, Wind, and Fire in concert. They came here
Mhm.
to Houston, and I was fortunate enough to be able to sit up the front row, and I was watching Philip Bailey, and he had some kind of spray that he was spraying into his throat, I guess, to soothe
Uh-huh.
his voice between
Uh-huh.
the some of the songs, and so there are some things that are like natural kind of licorice type of stuff that you can buy, and I've only kind of used that stuff like if I've been like if I'm getting sick or have like a sinus infection or that kind of thing. But and most of the time I don't have too much problems with straining my voice. Sometimes though it's a little hard, uh, living in Texas because there's so much pollen and stuff that you get a lot of drainage, that kind of stuff. That's kind of like the big challenge for me is that, and especially during the summertime, you get the Saharan dust that travels across the Atlantic into the Gulf, and so you get that kind of stuff. So that kind of stuff really affects me a lot.
Oh. So what does Philip Bailey use to spray his throat? Do you know?
I'm not sure, but I saw him doing that, so I was trying. I try to study what my idols, I call them, what they do, and kind of. So I just looked it up online, and so I found this kind of natural kind of stuff that's got like licorice in it, and it's
Oh,
supposed to soothes your throat, and it.
does it work? Does it feel like it works?
I feel it. I feel like it does. Yes.
Okay. It
Like
kind of,
if you have that scratchiness or raspiness, it really helps with that.
oh, okay. Does it feel like it cools it down a little bit? And
Yeah, it cools it down and soothes it.
okay. That's good to know. What
Yeah.
about chorus? Did you ever take chorus class? Did you have any choral teachers?
I had when I was in fourth and fifth grade, I was in the choir. So
Uh-huh.
that was kind of the only any kind of singing or chorus teachers that I ever had. It was in elementary school.
Oh, wow. You seem like to be a natural then. What about your family? Did anybody in your family sing?
My dad's mom, my grandmother, she was a singer.
Oh,
And so that's how she met my grandfather, because she was trying to audition for his band at the time. So
oh,
she was a singer. And then my older brother, he's a singer also.
oh, okay. So
So we're
what
like the
about,
only three singers.
oh, so when you were young, did you ever like since you like singing, did you ever sing in front of the family or something like that?
No, I was very, very too insecure and very shy to do anything like that. I'm always too shy and too insecure. So it kind of took um, when I got off the road with Glenn Miller Orchestra and moved back to Houston. I had that salsa gig that I was doing, and every Friday after the salsa gig, I would go and I would practice by doing karaoke. That was another way that I kind of started. I
Mhm.
would just make it a point that every Friday night, every Wednesday and Friday night, I'd try and go sing karaoke. It didn't even have to be like a jazz song, just singing anything, just trying to get out there, and that's what I did.
Mm. So that was your training. You trained yourself then, in a way.
Yes,
People go use karaoke, but they're not actually training you. You actually learn from that.
yeah, yeah. There were even times when I was with Glenn Miller Orchestra. I remember I went to Walgreens and I bought one of these little tapes, and I would go on the bus. And after we got to the hotel, there was nobody on the bus, so I go on the bus and I turn on like Frank Sinatra songs, and then like kind of sing along and record myself, and then listen back and be like, all right, well, you don't have any breath control here, or like you sound flat here. So I would do stuff like that too.
Oh, so you listen to yourself and you correct it. Whatever didn't sound good, you found a way to overcome it then.
Yes,
Oh, wow. Was
yeah,
that
like just like Lynn Seaton used to tell me when I was studying in North Texas. He would always tell me, the tape don't lie. Always record yourself and listen to yourself, and it's true.
was that a Walkman that you were talking about? I know that they play music. Do they record as well?
I'm sorry.
Was there a
The-
Walkman that you're talking about that you had on the bus that you could listen to
yeah, I
music?
had my own. Yeah, I had my own. Yeah, my own kind of. Yeah, I had my
Micro
little digital.
recorder?
Yeah, I had a little digital recorder,
Uh-huh.
and then I had another like another radio on the side, and I would record myself singing with the like the CD in the radio.
Wow. You were very ambitious on the bus. What did the bus driver say? Anybody ever say keep it down or did they give you compliments?
Well, no, I just always made sure that I would do it when everybody was off the bus, like at night. Like it would be like 11 o'clock, 12 a.m., midnight, and I'd be on the bus trying to practice singing, and
But
nobody would be on there.
but you have the bus driver, right? You're riding the bus, right?
Well, during that time, we would stay at a hotel, and so everybody would be off the bus. It would just be me, myself.
Ah, oh, so it's the band's bus then. It's not public
Yeah,
transportation.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It was the band's bus.
okay.
Yeah,
Because you seem to be so comfortable on the YouTube videos that I watch you singing and playing your string bass, and you just you have some such a different range, and I could tell that you're kind of like crooning, but it sounds really really good.
thank you.
Okay, let's talk about your recent album. There's three songs, right, that you wrote.
Yes.
Including Let's Take a Trip, the title song. Tell us about the writing and the song.
Um, well, I decided my family was out of town at the time, my wife and kids, and so I had some time to myself to kind of, do stuff. So I decided that like I want to make the most the time and write a couple of songs. And so I decided, okay, well, I'm going to write a song. I don't know what it's going to be about or who or what it's going to be about. So I just kind of put my thoughts together, started trying to think of how to write an upbeat kind of love song. So I wrote the song. I wrote this song for my wife, actually. Just, uh, just the stages of a relationship of when you meet somebody in the beginning and how it evolves when you get married and when you have kids and you got all these responsibilities of being an adult, adulting, as they say. And, you get kind of caught up with, life's responsibilities and you kind of don't really have time for each other. I mean, you're there for each other in a way, but you just kind of don't have that extra time that you had, when you first met. So that's kind of what the song is about. It just kind of talks about, hey, let's take a trip to, remembering how the relationship was in the beginning before, there was no kids and it was just two people that were just madly in love with each other.
Mm.
So that's kind of what the song is, kind of leave all your worries behind, your bills, your kids, and let's get back to what it was in the beginning.
Yeah, that's
So
like go on a date or have a second honeymoon. Something.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Some of your songs, like elevators and escalators. So I did read the liner notes and saw what it's about. But when I first heard it, I thought it was a little dark, as if maybe you lost somebody and you like were like usually like parents go before the kids, and I was so afraid that maybe you lost somebody that you love. But you seem to be like there was another song, I can't remember what it was, maybe a Christmas song. It had like the same feeling that you hold something very precious, and you want to make the most of it. Don't before you lose it, something like that. So
Yeah, that's the memories of Christmas. That's the song that I recorded back this past Christmas with my kids. I had my son playing the drums with me, and had my other son playing percussion. So it's kind of the song about because once the precious time is when they're real little, and then once they grow up and they're gone. Those times they're gone forever. It's just the memories that are left.
Oh, yeah, thanks for clarifying. It's just that so much to enjoy, but all that is going to pass, and all you have left are the memories of them growing up. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay, everybody's still here. Everybody's still together. That's a relief. Very good.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, what about the other two songs that you wrote? And let's take a trip.
um. The other song I wrote, the elevators and escalator song is a song of it's basically a song about what was going on during COVID, like the lockdown and the post lockdown, because there was nowhere to work for a musician. There were no gigs, and it was just me and my boys locked down at home. My wife, thankfully, she was working at the time, and she working remotely at home, and so there was really nothing for us to do. Couldn't really go anywhere. And then finally, when they started to kind of lift these mandates and you could go out again, my kids, all they wanted to do was just go to the mall all the time, and
Mm.
all they wanted to do was like ride the escalators and the elevators, which I didn't like riding in elevators because I'm deathly afraid of heights. And they want to ride the elevator at the Gallery Mall all the way, even up the top floor. It's like not that high, but it was. I didn't like doing it because I don't like heights, but that's what they like to do. And then there was this silly kind of song that they discovered on YouTube by these Taiwanese guys that were dressed up in these Spider-Man outfits. It's really funny, but they had this kind of just this song that they had that they made. I don't even know the name of it, but we would always play it on the cars. So that's they wanted to go to the mall, ride the elevators, escalators, and there was no gigs, and thankfully, out of all that, I had a lot of time to spend with him. That a lot of one-on-one time that I don't really have that anymore because I'm always working all the time.
Well, what about those elevators at that mall? Were they the ones that had the glass size and you could look down?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we have that in Chicago too. And
Yes.
some of the malls. Uh, have you ever been to Chicago?
I've been there, I think, twice and played at, I think, a place called the Paramount Theater with Glenn Miller Orchestra back in the mid 2000s.
Oh.
And then another time before we went on our Japan tour, I think we stayed nearby it in the Hoffman Estates.
Mhm.
Yeah. So those are the only two times I've ever been there, ever played there.
How was the tour in Japan?
Oh, it's great. Oh, it's awesome. It's you play at all these big concert halls, and they treat you like royalty, and they're very respectful to the music, you know, and those were great times.
So the Japanese are very into jazz.
Very into jazz.
Hmm.
Um, I just remember like going to a McDonald's and down and uh, sitting down at a table, and then like right by the table they have like all these pictures of famous jazz musicians inside the McDonald's, like Thelonious Monk and all these, you know. So yeah,
Really?
they really respect the music, and yeah.
Wow. So you were surprised they had that actually as a decoration for their restaurant for the all
Yes,
the portraits. Oh my goodness.
yeah, they did.
Wow. And that was in McDonald's.
It was at McDonald's, and I normally don't eat at McDonald's, but at that time I'd eat so much sushi and ramen and all that. I was like, man, I need a hamburger. So, you know, went to McDonald's.
Was that the McDonald's by your venue where you played?
Um, it was near Shinagawa Station where we were staying at the hotel we were staying at.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you been to anywhere else in Asia?
I've only been to Japan 6 times, and that's it. I haven't been anywhere else in Asia.
Oh, 6 times. So was that during for that one tour in a lot of different cities or many
Hmm.
different? Okay, for that one tour then.
Hmm. Well, I did the tour twice, and we played all the major cities in Japan,
Oh,
like
and
everywhere.
wow. What was which album were you touring? Was it your first, second, third? And what's the name of the album that was toured?
At the time, in 2005, I played bass on the XM satellite radio station, uh, Glenn Miller Orchestra,
Mm.
called "Steppin' Out," and I
Oh,
just played bass on there. I was just playing bass.
oh. So when you were in Japan, you weren't singing yet.
No, I wasn't. This was before
Oh.
then.
So maybe in the future you'll be singing in Japan as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. I love it.
Okay, and what was the third song that you wrote on this album? And let's take a trip.
The third song I wrote was a song called Sebastian's Waltz.
Mhm.
It was written for my son, my second son, Sebastian. Um, I had written on another album a song for my first son called A Father's Love for Ant. So,
Mhm.
of course, my son, Sebastian, was like, well, Daddy, when are you going to write me a song? When are you going to write me a song? So I wrote that song for him. And it's got kind of two meanings. It's, really for my son, Sebastian, but also I named my son after the great jazz drummer Sebastian Whitaker, who was a very good friend of mine, who passed away from cancer 10 years ago. And
Oh,
so I named my son after Sebastian. And so the name Sebastian's Waltz is named after my son, and also Sebastian Whitaker.
oh, okay. So your first son's name is Anthony? Ant?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay. That's his nickname? That's what you call him, Ant?
Yeah. Call him Ann.
And you call your other son, your second son, Sebastian.
Yes.
Oh, the entire long name.
Yeah.
Okay. So, of these other songs, which one do you especially like? I remember you said that the the first song, What a Little Moonlight Can Do, is actually the last song that you recorded, right, for the album?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about that.
Um, I mean, I like playing up tempo tunes, and it's fun to play. I guess I didn't have a reason why. I think the only reason why I actually did the song is because I was looking for an up tempo song for
Oh.
the album, and I thought like, well, this What a Little Moonlight Can Do is a really good one, and a lot of people kind of play this tune up tempo, so that was why I chose that one.
Mhm. What do you mean by up-tempo? Like more major and more fast? What do you exactly
Or
mean by up-tempo?
like faster. I think that song is over 385 beats per minute, or maybe even 400 or something. It's really crazy because I was not used to playing, not used to playing that fast like when I was younger, and so in these days I play mostly piano and singing these days. So during that session, I was really hanging on for dear life because it was so fast, and I didn't want it to be that fast, but they were insisting on playing it that fast, so it was pretty crazy.
Was it your drummer? Who was that person that you said did a lot and you named him as a co-producer? Was it his idea to make it so fast?
No, it was yeah, I guess it was kind of his, it was kind of his idea, and also Joe Farnsworth. They were just. I kept telling myself, I think it's a little bit too fast for what I can do, and they just insisted on just doing it that fast. So I just went with it.
Well, I think they made the right call. You were able to do it.
Yeah, they pushed me for sure.
So it's not easy singing and it's not easy playing string bass. When was the first time you did the two together? Why did you? Was that the time that conductor took you on stage and told you to do that harmony? That's when you played together? Oh, so you kind of eased into it with the harmonies.
Mhm. That's how I learned. And, like salsa music it's not on the downbeat. It's on the clave is on the and of two and the downbeat of four. So it's a different groove, and so that made playing, in 4/4 time, like quarter notes, like swing. Yeah, it made it a lot easier for me, to be honest. It really helped me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you remember what song you actually sang and played the string? Oh, did you? Let's ask this. Did you ever sing without also playing an instrument?
I did that one time about 4 years ago. I had my brother, he had some other engagement that he had to do. So he needed somebody to sub for him with the Houston Jazz Orchestra. And so I was kind of the featured singer, and I had to sing in front of a big band. And it was the first time that I had ever done that. And it was kind of frightening only because it was like a Christmas concert, and I was doing a lot of Christmas songs that I had never done before. So the memorization and all that stuff had to do a lot of memorizing, and so that was kind of having to stand up in front of a bunch of people and not hide behind the string bass
Mhm.
and sing these songs that I had never sang before. That was probably one of the first times that I had ever done a concert or a show in front of people without a bass.
Wow. Okay. So you were kind of fearful when you stepped on the stage, or did you know you could do it?
I was pretty nervous about it. I was pretty apprehensive just because it was just the memorization part of these Christmas songs. It wasn't like typical standards like, it had to be you or like these standards that I know real well. It was just like different arrangements of these Christmas songs that I had never done before. And so it was kind of scary. It kind of scary in a way.
But if you like flub a little word, you could just keep on going, and the audience probably won't even notice.
Yes, they didn't. Hopefully they didn't.
Okay. Well, again, do you remember what was the actual first song you sang and played uh, an instrument with? Was it piano that you played and sang the first time, or was it string bass?
It was string bass for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Remember the song?
First song I ever did on string. It was. I can tell you right now. It was Blue Skies.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
that was the first song I ever sang and did
Mhm.
string bass. Blue Skies.
Is Blue Skies one of your favorite songs?
It used to be. I mean, I still like it, but at
Mm.
the time, yeah, I really liked that song. I
Ah,
still like. I don't really sing it as much as I used to, but yeah, that was definitely the song I did.
mhm. Yeah. When the first time is easier when you do a song that you're so familiar with and you like it, that you enjoy.
The first time.
Yeah, well, yeah, the first time when you're going to be doing something that you never did before, like singing and playing the string bass, it's more easier to start with a song that you enjoy and that you like. That no, that
Sure,
you
absolutely.
oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Mm. Okay, well, so what lies ahead?
What lies ahead?
Yes, are you going to like concentrate on touring? Are you concentrating on your new album or just doing gigs right now? What's happening?
Uh, well, I think right now, just just doing as many gigs as I can, for my kids and my wife, and you know, be nice to get out and do some shows in other places.
Do you do
Um,
much? Go ahead.
I mean, I don't really get out as much, and a lot of that has to do because I've had a long standing gig where I'm at Eddie V's in Houston, and
Hmm.
I've been fortunate enough to play 6 nights a week, so that kind of keeps me here, which
Right.
is actually a very really good thing.
Hmm.
I do go, I go out of town sometimes to San Antonio or Dallas and do some other gigs. And I always welcome the opportunity to do a show somewhere else. So if the opportunity arises, I'll definitely would go somewhere else and play for sure and play bass. Yes.
Oh, I did want to ask you earlier. So when as COVID passed, as maybe as it was coming to an end, how did you what was the first thing that you did to ease back into your career, your musical career? Do you remember?
Um. Well, I got a call from Eddie V's, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna start the music back again, and we're gonna need you."
Oh,
And so I thought that I would just be here a few times a month, but it turns out they were like, "We're gonna need you at both locations, and you're gonna be working 6 nights a week." So that was I didn't expect that at all. So
oh,
it was
that's
kind of
perfect.
just I was I was just thrown right into it.
Oh, that's perfect. You're very fortunate, and then you they know your work. So how many hours do you sing per night then? Do you sing at both locations sometimes on some days, right? And some nights?
Yes. I do the evenings, and I sing. Right now 3 hours a night. Sometimes it
Oh,
used to be 4 hours, but right now it's only 3 hours a night.
wow. Mhm. So do you still you don't have to practice then, right? You just like have to rest up after all those after the sessions.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just I don't. I try to warm my voice up before every gig, just because you don't want to
Uh-huh.
damage your voice and stuff. So I try to warm up a little bit before the gig.
Where did
I'll,
you
I'm
no, go
sorry.
no, no, you go ahead.
Um, I mean, if I'm learning some new songs, trying to add more repertoire to my book, then
Mhm.
I'll do some practicing that way.
What about warming up? Where did you learn to warm up? And how do you do it?
Um, I learned from this gentleman that I took one lesson from here in town. He just taught me some simple like warm up things, and so I did that. And then also they advertise this thing online. It's called Doctor Vox, Vox, Doctor Vox,
Hmm.
and they sell this kind of like this container, and you fill it with water. It's got a straw in it, and I use that to warm up too.
Wow, I have to look that up. I never heard about that before.
Yeah, that thing warms your voice up the fastest.
Oh,
To me, yeah. Rather than just singing out loud, you're basically humming into this humming into this thing, this straw, and it definitely warms your voice up the fastest out of anything, for
oh.
sure.
So is there any water? Does it moisten your vocal cords at all?
Hmm. Yeah, it
Oh,
moistens your vocal cords, and you fill the water up to this certain line, and
oh,
you just do the breathing exercises in it, and it really works. I
oh.
didn't think I didn't think it really was going to work, but I've used it and it definitely works for sure.
Yeah, you sound very good. Maybe that helps as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And do you have to use distilled water?
I think you're supposed to, but I just put regular water in it. Yeah, it
Okay. Does it have to be warm water, cold water, any water?
could be any water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Anthony Caceres, and your new album, Let's Take a Trip. If our listeners want to learn more about you, where should they go?
You can find my music on Apple Music. You can find it on Spotify. You can also go to my website, anthonycaceres.com. Follow me on Facebook, Anthony Caceres Music. And then you can find me on Instagram at the Crooner Caceres.
Crooner.
And yes,
What
which
about,
I didn't name myself that. People started calling me that, and I didn't know why at first. But so
and what about YouTube?
yeah, I have all my videos are on YouTube. Anthony Caceres.
Okay, spell it. Spell it for our listeners. Maybe some
Um,
don't know how to
A N
spell.
ANTHONY
Mhm.
CACERES.
Okay. Anthony Caceres, thank you so much, and much luck to you, and happy crooning, happy doing what you do as a great musician.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.